Hey there, JDs and Lentilmen.
Hello. We are back once again for another Tuesday drawing stream. It's me and Storm Song again. I am Crispy. Andy Vane will be joining us later on. He's running a little bit late today.
And I am
That's
Storm
fine.
Song.
Yes, indeed. He is also Storm Song. We are here once again to draw things.
And remember,
But-
WVPL 76 is recorded in front of a no-life studio audience.
By people also with no lives. Anyway, so I'm actually going to be working on a commission today that I'm doing for Renton of our good cargo lizard, Leah Skarma. I think that's how you say her name. But it's a little piece that I'm working on for a poster, so I think it's very appropriate for Leah, so I'm going to be doing the line art for it today.
I am starting on a commission for Mr. Diggs.
Oh, very nice. Actually, before I do anything, I get way too involved when I'm drawing some stuff, but in this case it's kind of warranted just because of how involved it's gotten, so.
Hey, Tired German.
Hello! Wait, yeah, that's what I wanted to turn off. Okay, cool. Now comes the fun part of line art. Also, is the music too loud? Do I need to turn anything up or down?
Let me check.
Seems okay on my end, but...
Music's like a little quiet, but like not badly so.
well, I don't want it to be too loud, you know? So...
Yeah. It's definitely background.
Yeah, very much. But it's very funkadelic, and I like that.
But actually, before I begin the commission, I need to finish doing Tom Tombadil.
Oh boy. Is this going to be another picture that's going to crash a graphics card? Let's find out. Still my favorite Wide Tom story. For people that aren't aware, back in like early days of the aux, someone made a Wide Tom JPEG so wide that somebody, admittedly with a decaying but still working graphics card, tried to open it and it fried said graphics card. And that was a
Tired
fun
German.
day.
Yeah, Tired German. He sketches live quite a bit.
Nice.
In an actual sketchbook. Like at the meetup, he was drawing pretty much nonstop.
Oh yes, I do.
Yes, he is a sketchy boy.
Yeah, I was actually showing people my sketchbooks. It was pretty fun.
Oh my God! It's Andy Van of the Black
Andy!
I'm
here.
You've not been consumed by the gators. That is good.
It's okay, Mo.
Hi, Mo.
Have you started?
Yes. Oh yeah. TG, for a bit of reference for this, I actually did just get a new sketchbook because I needed one. I filled mine up, but I do usually try to start with at least rough sketches. They sometimes will get more involved depending on what it is, but that's usually where I like to start with sketching with my commission work, just to get like a sense of what I'm doing, you know. And I have a lot of sketchbooks. I think I brought like 4 to the meetup.
Something like that.
4 or
It's
5.
a goblin in a top hat.
It's Renton's space station character, Leah Skarma.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a commission for her. I'm doing a poster, like a Victorian style poster, involving her for what is it called? It is Leah Skarma's artisanally created self-defense imperium. So that's gonna be fun to do the type for. But yeah, been kind of working on this for like the better part of, let's say like 2 weeks. I don't know. I just kind of got around to starting it late just because of everything with the meetup and things. But such is life. And Renton is very, very accommodating. She's wonderful to work with. So.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I'm pretty sure that my first character drawing I did of her character here is what inspired her look on the one thumbnail in the BPL 14 server. Which I think is kind of nice. Anyway, how about them Lakers? So quiet.
How about him? What do you know of sports ball?
Sorry, give me 1 minute.
Yeah, I feel you, TG. Life can get pretty busy sometimes. For me, I just kind of, I'm at least fortunate in that my schedule doesn't keep me super busy when it comes to work. I mean, I have my Fridays off. I think I've mentioned that before, which is pretty nice. You know, I also just like kind of force myself to draw sometimes, where it's like I probably kind of push myself a little too hard at points, but you know, it's, you know how it is with drawing. It means a lot to me, so something I try to keep up with. But I totally understand if things are busy.
Like, I
yeah,
like
that
of, oh,
no heat would suck. No heat definitely would suck.
Yeah, no, I follow the same rule though, where I write a little bit of music every day so that like I stay in practice.
My favorite medium to draw with, I mean, I will say that I do enjoy my tablet because of the flexibility it offers with a lot of it, but if I had to pick just like my favorite, just by how I feel and everything, I honestly like drawing in a sketchbook a lot. And I actually draw with a ballpoint pen I'll sketch with, believe it or not, which is something I just kind of started years ago, essentially just because I didn't like, you know, my pencil sketches smudging in my sketchbooks. Because I would usually use like mechanical pencils and stuff, and it'd be pretty rough and it would smudge. And the nice thing that I've kind of gotten used to over the years with doing ballpoint pen is just the feel of it, and also the sort of permanence of it makes you sort of have to think about the lines and things, and also kind of just makes you commit, which is nice. But I do like using I do like sketching with a pencil. Like for times where I've done traditional pieces, I've used a mechanical pencil with a sort of blue lead in it that when you scan it into a computer, you can actually Photoshop it out, and that's helped a lot with doing those sorts of drawings. But yeah, I always love having a sketchbook and drawing. I mean, I think I got my tablet when I was in like college, so, and even then it was a while before I got used to it, because, well, I lie. My Cintiq is what I got in college. My tablet itself that it started was like it was like a Bamboo or something like that, just a lower end one, and that definitely was difficult to draw with because, you know, for tablets, you're generally, unless it's like a Cintiq, or I guess there's modern versions, because those weren't really around when I started, you know, when I got this, but, you know, there's tablets with screens in them that they work great with, and it's like drawing on paper. And honestly, like, if you're gonna want to like do drawing like this, I wouldn't say like it's necessary, but it definitely helps a lot to have a tablet like this. And the nice thing is there's a lot cheaper options out there now versus when I got it, but it's night and day, basically, is what I'm trying to say, versus like a tablet that doesn't have a screen in it, because that was originally what I had, and you essentially have to draw while looking at your computer monitor, and you have to kind of get used to that disconnect there when it can be tricky.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to have finally gotten to this actual tablet, like the one that you saw me at the beat up, this XP pen.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, having a tablet like that makes all the difference, you know. The shitty part is they can be expensive. At least I know mine was, but that was also, again, that was like well over 10 years ago I got it. Technology for that has become a lot more available, I guess.
They used to be like $1,200, you know?
Yeah, mine was on the lower end, and I think at the time it was like $800, and that was like me saving up for a summer.
Yeah, the current, like, the really nice ones are currently about $650. This one is, like, $250 and is on the medium end.
Yeah. Like, Cintiq the Cintiq that I have, that's kind of the higher end when it comes to the tablets. But now there's, like, things like, I think, like, Lenovo and Intuos and things.
Yeah.
So, lot more affordable options. And really, it's like, as long as it works, you know, it's just worth using. I mean, even if you're even comfortable with just using like a regular bamboo, you know, as long as it works, that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter what sorts of tools you have, because I can totally understand people not wanting to spend that much on a tablet.
Yeah.
For me, it was very much an investment that I will say that in my case, it very much has paid off having said tablet, but yeah.
But yeah, you do this also semi-professionally or straight up professionally.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Is, you know, but like with all the commission work that I've done on this thing, it's definitely paid for itself. I'm just happy that I'm able to do this kind of stuff, you know. What's nice too about Clip Studios, it has the vector options you can do with your line art, and that helps a lot. Have you messed around with vector at all, Storm?
Yes, quite a bit. Actually, become quite the lifesaver.
Oh yeah, no, that learning the vector and how that works, it helps so much when it comes to line art with Clip Studio. Which that's the program I use is Clip Studio. It's pretty good. It's like, I think it's like $50 a download, or at least it was when I got it back in like 2017. But if you want a good free open drawing program, Krita is a good bet. It is completely free. And I guess the best way I can describe it is it's like Photoshop for drawing, but optimized for drawing. And if you're looking for a program to learn how to draw digitally on, that's not a bad start. Or honestly, not a bad tool to use in general, you know. I'm always like, I don't know if you've noticed, but when I do like my line art and stuff, it tends to kind of be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just so I can like not get too hung up on one area, you know, because it's very easy to do that with your lines.
Yeah.
But also, I just kind of get bored in one spot. I'm like, I want to try something over there. You know, it's like when you take a test and you just try to knock out the questions you know first, so you can think more about the difficult ones. It's like that.
Yeah. Always a good technique. Hey, Bully Snake. Hey, Meglitzen.
Yeah, it's quite a dapper dragon. It's our wonderful cargo lizard, Leithskarma. Maybe a bit too high, but I'm just gonna kind of roll with it because it's working.
So how is Andy Pants of the Black Van Legion today?
I think he's either the shadows have claimed him or he stepped away to do something. So
Sometimes his internet just explodes at random.
also that's probably the more likely option, if I'm honest.
We do love our Andy Van, but his internet does not love him.
Yeah, neither does his truck tires, apparently. He had
I heard him sing one too many times and decided to shed this mortal coil. No. Andy's actually...
I mean, I haven't drawn Furbies yet on stream today, so... Not that I was planning on it, but...
Yes, life can't be all Furbies.
No, but I did find a Furby hat yesterday that was amazing. The problem is, I'm not going to spend $3,000 on it.
I'm very delighted because Mr. Mays is sending me a set of slippers that he found that are in my size, and they say "get lit" on them, and it shows a picture of a Hanukkah, a menorah.
Yeah, that's great. I actually want to find a good pair of moccasins. I have slippers for the house here, but it's like I kind of want moccasins, you know? Just not sure where there's a good spot to get those.
And I am super excited because in 20 days, well, it's more like 19 days now, I get to go see my favorite band live.
Oh, yeah?
Blind Guardian playing along with the bands Ensiferum and Seven Kingdoms.
I'm assuming it's a metal band, but when I heard you say blind, all I thought it was, all I can say is that my life.
Yeah, Blind Guardian is a thrash power metal band, so, like, think power metal, but way more kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
I played some of them for you in the car.
Oh, you probably did, yeah. If I'm honest, like, power metal isn't necessarily my thing. There's stuff I like Manowar's great and stuff, but
yeah.
I guess I'm like more of the. I mean, I'm just gonna say because it's the term. I like the more stoner metal stuff. Like I love Elder. Elder's great. Actually, a very interesting band whose discography I got recently is if you want a really interesting sort of metal psychedelic space themed band, Yuri Gagarin. You can find them on Yuri Gagarin's great. I just bought all their discography like the other week and. It's pretty awesome. If you like long, like instrumental type music, it's good. You can find it on Bandcamp or YouTube. Just if you want to give it a listen, go to YouTube and find them. But yeah, Yuri Gagarin's great.
Yep.
You know, when you said space metal and all that, I was listening to "Don't Fear the Reaper" by the Blue Oyster Cult, and like in the middle of it, there's the guitar solo, I guess, and it just it sounds very alien to me.
Have you heard "Veteran of the Psychic Wars"? That's another one of their songs. That's very much in that vein.
Listen to that. But it gave me an idea for like a little animatic to make about it. Basically, a UFO shows up and just starts sucking people up.
That'd be pretty cool. I wonder. You might like Hawkwind, Andy. I don't know. Hawkwind's pretty great.
Hawkwind.
Yeah, they were actually the band that Lemmy was in before Motorhead. They're very much like a sort of psychedelic band, but they've got some really awesome stuff. I'll have to send it to you then.
Yeah, a lot of people don't tend to realize that like heavy metal started in essentially the psychedelic.
Oh, very much so, because all those guys were on acid and shit.
Well, not just that, but like the psychedelic and blues rock scene like was experimenting with more and more like
I mean that's where punk started too. And
then one day a guy named Tony Iommi gets in a factory accident and saws off 3 of his fingertips and has to develop a different way of playing his guitar. And so they decide, well, they're going to lean into the distortion then because they have to go more heavily on power chords, which is not going to sound as, like, finessed. And so they start drumming heavier with it, too, and then they release their first big single, and this is where Black Sabbath is born.
Nice.
And
it's like Joy Division, which later became New Order. The reason that they have their sound like they do is because the bassist for I think it was like they had a shitty amp or something because that's all they could afford, and he basically had to play, or it was like a shitty bass guitar or like a shitty amp, one of the two, and he had to basically play like higher up on the neck for it, and that's how they really got that sort of post-punk distorted sound that they became known for.
Yeah.
It's necessity really is the mother of invention, you know?
Yep.
It's like I love watching stuff about like I was watching something about Alien a while ago about how they kind of like did the alien ship and the world and everything. And it's just interesting to hear the stories about how that stuff gets made, you know? Like for instance, the whole scene where they land on the planet, like those are kids or little people. I think either in the spacesuits in some of those shots because they were trying to really give a sense of scale, and this is something they wouldn't have probably been able to do if they were in America. But the fog on LV-426 is actually like vaporized diesel fuel, and apparently it would leave like smoke clouds on set.
Definitely a safety hazard.
Oh, very much so. But it's I love stuff like that when it comes to making movies, you know?
Well, like, I was showing some of the movies that we watch in the dojo from time to time. And The Shanty was really good, Rimward. I very much enjoyed. What was I saying? Right.
Dojo.
So there's a movie in the dojo that got pretty popular over in the auxiliary called 18 Bronze Women of Kung Fu.
Is that where the Kilroy meme came from?
I don't believe so, but I could be wrong about that. And
I honestly couldn't tell you.
But there is, a scene where you see them, and I showed it to my friend who does a lot of like actual film work and costuming and such. And he's like, and this was made in what, the 70s in Beijing? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, chances are most of those actresses are dead now. And I'm like, why? Just age? He's like, no, that body paint is probably extremely toxic.
Oh, fuck.
And it was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, they got radium girl, man. It's fucked. It's like,
Father, I brought the spicy rock home. Let us sell it.
I believe is the same thing happened for the lady who played the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. Like, she got really sick from the body paint. Because it was like copper or some shit.
Man.
I think... I mean, it might have been him too, actually. It might have been both of them. I wouldn't be surprised.
His like, paint had, like, actual aluminum in it or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Man, I don't know if this hand looks right or not. Hands are so fucking hard.
Hands are...
I was...
Krispy.
Bionic was screaming about it earlier, and I'm like, yes, they are hard.
Yeah, you say that, suddenly a robot busts into your room and looks at you and says, oh yeah, it is hard, isn't it?
I'd beat it to death with a baseball bat. I ain't having no toaster tell me how to draw.
Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, really. This is, like, in the future, that's probably going to get me canceled or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Podcast.
You can't just call an android that.
I saw pictures of like a set of robots that have like some sort of weird felt skin. And they have like teddy bear eyes but no face. I'm like, this is horrifying.
Is that the fucking monkey mother machine experiment?
I don't know, it looks like it.
Yeah, that was a fucked experiment. They basically experimented with two baby monkeys where they had artificial mother monkeys. Yeah. One was covered in like a terry cloth. One was wire, and the wire one dispensed milk, but every time the monkey would go to the terry cloth one, and it was kind of showing about how things at birth can, or like, it was basically a psychological experiment to show how, things experienced as an infant can affect your psychology later on.
What kind of monkey was that?
I have no idea. Who knows?
I know it's going to sound weird, but I hope that monkey's like dead, because I'd hate for there to be a 60-year-old
I would imagine it's dead by now, considering this was an old experiment.
Because I'd hate there to be like a 60-year-old monkey out there, like rocking in his cell, like, "Where's my wire, mother?"
No, it was a smaller. I forget. I honestly don't remember
like a macaque
which kind of monkey it was. Yeah. I don't know if monkeys lived that long, or at least one's in captivity. I don't think. I also think it depends entirely on the ape, but...
Oh yeah, I heard that the gold-painted woman in Bond died. Yeah, I heard that, like...
Wait, are you sure that you're not just confusing that for part of the movie, or did she actually die?
I think she died in real life. I was told, like, the paint kept her skin from breathing, because I was told that a lot, growing up, like, your skin needs to breathe, so, like, if you got, like, coated in some sort of, like, airtight thing, you would like die or something. I don't know. Well, the actress did.
That's how she died in the movie. I don't know if that's how she died in real life. I could be wrong about that, but I just remember from
That's what
I remember about
blame him.
Goldfinger.
SRW, yeah, you just brought up the Gold Woman in that, yeah.
Yeah, Goldfinger was a weird one. That was when they were gonna nuke Fort Knox, and you had Oddjob with the hat.
Goldfinger!
That was one of the more campy Bonds, which I do like the campy Bonds a lot. Like Moonraker's fucking great. I want to watch that again. Ooh, maybe I can get my wife to watch that later, because we do spa night on Tuesdays. Just in face masks, having drinks, watching Moonraker. It sounds like a good Tuesday night.
Imagine campy 007 meets campy Batman. They have to, like, team up.
Well, I did have a fun campy idea earlier that I was telling Storm about. I don't really know if I want to get too into detail about it on stream, but sorry, give me 1 second.
Men in Black.
Oh, right, Men in Black. Okay, I've been informed by my wife we are not watching Moonraker tonight because we are watching the original Men in Black, which, to be fair, I'm fucking down for that, because Men in Black is a great movie. I also just want to see Sugar Water. But, long story short, I had an idea at work. I just don't want to get too into it because I don't want to, like, give away the idea. But I had a fun setting idea today at work that I want to do more writing and stuff on. My problem is I get all these fun ideas and then it's like, oh yeah, I have a day job I need to go do. The struggle of an artist. Not to sound pretentious, but it's kind of true. Yes, shark repellent.
You know what?
Exactly.
That's where Bruce Wayne gets all his gadget. He gets it from Q.
Well, he has his own Q.
Where do you
Lucius,
think Q gets
he
his
has
money
Lucius
from?
Fox. I mean, he's got his... never mind, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because it might be a little too topical, but... I mean, he has his own Q, essentially, with Lucius Fox. That's who Morgan Freeman's character is in the Dark Knight movie.
I always thought Lucius Fox was more of the, like... Whereas Alfred is kind of like almost the homebody butler. Lucius Fox, he's the one that makes sure that, like... I assume that he was pretty much the real way that Wayne Enterprises stays together and all that and keeps secret.
Well, I'd say it depends on the Batman in question.
In most versions, he's Batman's logistical supplier and the one that keeps Wayne Enterprises running.
I know
Bruce builds most of the equipment himself.
Yeah. I know in the Batman animated series, he was the one who built the Batmobile that he drove, which I love that Batmobile from the animated series.
Yeah, basically
Had a
the
toy of
death
that.
limo.
Mm-hmm. I
Fucking
really want
jet
that
engine
Lego
back.
set. That Lego Batmobile Lego set's pretty cool. I saw it the other day.
I can't wait to see the Batman movie with you. Like, you're gonna laugh how rigid his like neck is. Like, he can't turn his neck.
Oh yeah, no, the original Batman Begins.
Well, not Batman Begins, just like the original like Batman.
Oh.
Because that's what they're referencing in Batman Begins. They did that on purpose.
Oh, I thought he couldn't turn his head in Batman Begins.
In Batman Begins, he talks about how the helmet is hard to move in, and they're referencing like the Jack Nicholson Batman.
That's another Batman I need to see. Is that one? We were gonna watch it when we were at the meetup, but we didn't get a chance to. We did watch Ninja Turtles though, which that was pretty great.
Ninjas. So, what did you think about that rendition of Shredder?
I will say I kind of liked the 2000s version of it better because it looked way more sinister. But as far as 80s camp go, like, it looks great. It's just I wouldn't necessarily take him seriously as a villain.
I mean, the one thing he has at the other zone, he's got all that sparkliness on his cape.
That's kind of my problem. Is like he's got like, he had like a red sequin jumpsuit under that. I'm like, is he Prince? I'm probably going to come back to this hand later, but I don't necessarily like how it's looking right now.
I always interpreted the red sequin suit as it was supposed to be like tin or some kind of foil, and it was like he was basically the king of an empire of garbage.
I mean, you kind of get that vibe with the Foot Clan and everything, because they're hanging out in that... Honestly, that warehouse looks sick as fuck.
Yeah,
But
that was a time period where how did my friend describe it? Basically, like, that early 90s, late 80s, where all children in movies like that are feral.
Yeah,
Graffiti
you know what,
everywhere.
I kind of blame that on the culture wars of the 80s, because they really tried to demonize the punk movement and stuff back then, which is why you see, like...
Wait, why am I getting put into a J. Edgar Hoover tank now? Why am I wearing a skin suit? An Edgar suit!
Well, you more wore fishnets and stockings, but, you know.
SRW Addict corrects and says, I was wrong, actress did not die, the character in the movie died. Crispy was right.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't remember... Yeah. I would not be surprised if there's been at least one actress sickened, if not killed, by her makeup, though. That just sounds very possible.
Or there were those ladies that, like, had their jaws melt off because of the paint.
Well, that was the radium girls. That was because they were just painting with fucking radium.
Yeah, but still.
They had some... At one point, they had a treatment where they would basically sew a bit of radium into you to like, treat cancer and stuff.
Which, I mean, to be fair, it probably did work. It's just super primitive and probably had way too many side effects.
Yo, for sure. I mean... Marie Curie, her notebooks have to be kept in like lead boxes because they're so irradiated still.
Yep. But yeah, that's one of the things about medicine is it's never fun to be the first.
Yeah, with medicine, the history of medicine can be summed up with the sentence, with any luck, this'll work.
Yep. I felt bad for the poor girl who was drawing my blood today. I was getting stuff for blood test done. And she's like, you don't mind that I'm a student, right? And I'm like, you gotta learn somehow. And apparently that was a relief to them, because, like, I guess people bitch about having a student do the blood drawing.
Look, I'd sooner a med student than, like, a member of Unit 731 try to draw my blood.
Yeah, well, I wasn't.
If you don't know what Unit 731 is and want to ruin your day, go look that up.
Why should that matter? Well, people don't like students drawing their blood. Well, I'm not a student. I draw my own blood all the time.
See, I would be more concerned if I had someone say that to me than them say I was a student.
No, it's more like I'm bleeding. I'm always bleeding. What's the difference?
I just thought you were referencing Richard Chase, aka the Vampire of Sacramento. I have too much true crime lore in my brain.
This is true. So the oh gosh, I lost my thought when you mentioned the vampire.
It's a fucked story. I don't want to get into the details of it because I don't think I can. But yeah, if you like true crime, go look that shit up.
If you want to look into it, there's a really horrible fact about Unit 731, and it's not graphic. I'm not going to say anything graphic here.
Oh, is it that scene from the Men Behind the Sun?
No, Men Behind the Sun is a terrifying movie, but no.
Which is about Unit 731.
Yeah. The thing about 731 that's really horrifying is they weren't even the worst of those units. They weren't in the top 10.
That sounds...
731's just the one that got publicized.
That sounds appropriate.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like next Halloween, and we can try and get we could try and spook Whacker out again. We could play the point and click adventure game. I have no mouth and I must scream.
I was deeply worried that you were about to say for next Halloween we should dress as Unit 731, and I was gonna be like, "Fuck no!"
Well,
I thought you meant watch the Men Behind the Sun.
Adventure game, Storm.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, that game.
Yeah. Let's just say there's a lot of there's a lot of science we've learned over the centuries of humankind that have probably come in very fucked up ways.
Yeah.
Be the kind of person that doesn't end up being the reason there's a safety brief. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh god, Unit 731 is anti-weeb juice.
And
Juice
that's
is a
what,
very interesting choice of words considering some of their experiments.
Yeah. Now I am going to say a movie was mentioned during this. I am going to give a warning to the audience. 99% of you, I would say, do not look up the movie Men Behind the Sun.
Dear God, do not. There's.
Now, yeah.
I just think of the one scene in that involves some cold temperature testing.
Even go into it. I was just giving an example because.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I was just saying, like, don't go looking that movie up just because we mentioned it. It's kind of.
It is not a movie you're going to want to. It's one of those movies where it's like you watch it, you're like, I don't need to see this again.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about that movie positive towards it, and this is why it's so fucked, is it's kind of bad. Moving on.
Yeah. What if you want to see a fucked up horror movie? Watch John Carpenter's The Thing instead. That's more fun.
Yeah,
it's like
because at least it's actually like a horror movie fun.
Yeah.
It's horror movie fun, not horror movie horrific.
Yeah. Cannibal Holocaust, the movie that had its director dragged into court in Italy.
Yeah, they had to have the actress show up to show that she was still alive.
Yeah, prove that that there wasn't actual cannibalism in the movie.
Oh,
Which, I
that's
mean,
right. I was actually going to make another reference to this. Okay, you remember the Star Trek movie? What was it, Journey Home, where they go back in time?
Yeah.
And Dr. Bones is like, "Oh, these primitives." Oh. But I remember that some people thought they were actually taking videos of whales, and I heard during one of the I think it was a commentary, they said like they were getting complaints from PETA and other animal rights activists that they were harassing whales to get that close-up footage.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The 80s was kind of PETA's actual heyday.
I will say this. After hearing the horrors of SeaWorld, I can see why PETA might be upset.
Yeah.
Let's just say that when it comes to making a serial killer, you can do it in other animals too. It's not just a human thing.
There's a reason pit bulls often have the reputation they do, and it's not because of their native temperament.
No.
It takes one apple to spoil the bunch, doesn't it?
Well, the whole practice of having whales in captivity is pretty messed up to begin with, because they are very congenial animals.
Yeah, or if you're going to have it in captivity, you have to, and we don't do this, you have to do it the way we do with wolves, which is have the space that it's within be fucking gigantic. Like, you have to give the thing enough room that it thinks it's out in the wild hunting.
Well, it's not even just that, it's also just a matter of,
socializing.
Like
other whales.
Mother orcas and their calves have a very strong bond to the point where, and this is probably about as much as I want to get into this, but when they would capture some of these whales from these whale calves from the wild, the mothers would chase them for miles, just crying out.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they are.
Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday out there.
Yeah. Don't watch the movie Orca.
Okay, you know what? You know what movie you should go watch? Go watch Secret of Nim.
Go watch Velocipaster.
Yeah,
you know what? Secret of Nim. I want to say this: the owl scene from the Secret of Nim. That's a really good, in my impression. That's a really good representation of how a dragon should be represented.
Yeah.
No, I think the best way a dragon should be represented is Velocipaster.
Have you seen Secret of Nim, Crispy?
I don't think I have, actually. I've heard the name before, but I've not seen the movie.
It's based on the novel Mrs. Brisby and the Rats of Nim.
I thought you were going to say Mrs. Doubtfire, and I was like, that is a hell of a movie. Or hell of a novel.
God. Remake Secret of Nim, but I know we can't, but just remake Secret of Nim and have Robin Williams play Mrs. Brisby. Oh, hello!
Well, if we're doing ultimate, if we're gonna do an ultimate, let's make a fun movie fantasy idea, I would definitely say Robin Williams is a good pick.
Aloe, all you're seeing is a lizard folk holding a gun.
Yeah, this is
not what-
Renton's character from Space Station, Leoth.
It's
Scarlet.
not what you were thinking it was.
No, we are not drawing the thing that was referenced earlier that I want to forget.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I think that was more in the Ox that got mentioned, but yeah.
But yeah, Secret of Nim is my I'm sick, I have to stay home, and I want to remember what it's like to be 10.
Actually, that for me, that might honestly be Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, because I saw that for the first time when I was staying homesick.
Yeah.
That are like,
You know,
oh
I
man,
haven't-
back when TLC used to be actually the learning channel, they had some good stuff on there.
I haven't watched Jurassic Park in a long time. I used to watch the hell out of that when I was a kid.
Oh, Jurassic Park's fucking great, dude.
I like analog horror that they're doing with Jurassic Park on YouTube lately. They're doing a lot of it with Godzilla too. I got like, they call it Just Prey, and it's an interesting take on Godzilla. I got to show it to you later, Chris. I'm sorry, Storm.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
I heard the books were horrifying.
Yeah, I'm working on something, Andy, that I think you will find hilarious once I'm done. But it's like my 70-point essay on why the hell Halo was probably inspired by Final Fantasy VII.
I've got some issues with this thesis.
No, and when I say inspired, I don't mean ripped off. I mean that there's a freakish number of similarities.
I want to know what the hell you mean by that, because I don't think of Final Fantasy VII at all when I'm playing Halo. Of course, I've not played Final Fantasy ever.
And you shouldn't. The two have a fairly different aesthetic. What were you saying, Andy?
I was just going to say, like, I mean, you.
It's a gun, Aloe. It's holding a gun. It's a Loomis gun.
I'm going to pat you on the head and say, there, yeah, okay.
I'll show you when I'm done, but it's kind of upsetting.
Oh, it's already upsetting. No, I'm just.
No,
I was going to say, like,
I'm not trying to do what Simpsons did at first. I think Halo is very much an original product. What I'm saying is that this might be one of those cases. It's either that one of the development team was inspired by it, or stories about super soldiers just tend to end up with a lot of the same element.
I will say this much: when it comes to Halo, one of the biggest influences on it was definitely Alien.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I would say more of the inspiration for Master Chief probably came from Marathon than anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Again, this is not really me saying.
This is more of a shitpost.
It's kind of half shitpost, but kind of half interesting note on like, well, there are only 10 plots really, and human beings tend to associate certain details. Influence might be a better way to put it. But,
okay, yeah. Influence, maybe I could see some. I don't know. I'd have to see what you mean, because I
don't want to take over the stream here. I just see what
no, that's fine. I more say I want to see what you mean, because like I've not ever played a Final Fantasy game.
Okay, so I'll do the very basic version. Okay.
Okay.
You have a government agency that kidnaps people to turn them into modified super soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Those modified super soldiers were primarily used for putting down rebellions. Because of the religious overtones of some of the people in the setting, there is a belief that there is an ancient race who created something that's a device that's supposed to be very good, but in fact it turns out it's storing a biological horror. Our super soldier is assisted by a heavenly maiden archetype kind of character who is herself directly connected to said ancients. The thing that everyone thinks is going to save them actually turns out to be the thing that's going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
It follows a lot of this, and then
okay, I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean, at least when it comes to the connections there.
Even down to the prequels, both end with the main character being told, like, escape or survive, and then fighting until they're killed. And the
well, that was more of Halo Reach that did that.
That's what I'm saying.
specifically, but
both of them have prequels that did that. And then if you listen to this is why I'm saying it's kind of half shitpost, half fascinating. But then the other half of it was the music, whereas you have dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da da dun da 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 versus da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 da. So similar.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I can see the similarities there. I don't want to necessarily say it could be like legitimately it could be a massive coincidence, but I do see the connection.
Unintentional.
Yeah.
Or it could be like one member of the team just was influenced by it, or it's just
that I could definitely see that there was at least someone that has. I could see someone back then playing Final Fantasy, because like Final Fantasy VII came out in what, 98?
97. No, 1997. That was the point.
And Halo 1 came out in 2001, so it's very possible that somebody played that and then was on the team and thought of ideas of that put in the game.
Yeah, or maybe not even like directly taking inspiration, but those ideas were now part of their psyche and stuff. Hey,
yeah. I mean, I'm not about to like talk shit on that by any means, because like legitimately that's just how ideas work. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to say that Halo's unoriginal. I'm trying to say that it's weird because you can find these all over the place. Like,
it's
like, let's go with a more blatant version, Star Trek, where it probably is ripping off. Like, if you think long and hard about it, Star Trek Voyager is just really badly done Star Wars.
Yeah, and this is kind of the interesting thing, and I'm about to get into some woo shit with this a little bit, but I've been listening to a little bit lately about stuff involving the occult, like Aleister Crowley and things.
Mr. Crowley!
Mr. Crowley! But it's interesting to like hear the stories of that sorts of stuff and sorts of their journey to sort of learn the knowledge that they did, and how a lot of occult knowledge is one thing built up over another, and it really gets me thinking sometimes, because it's like a lot of what I hear resonates with me just as my journey as like being an artist, and it's interesting, I think of the phrase "as above, so below," which is a big thing when it comes to a lot of that, where the idea of the smallest thing in the universe is similar to the grandest scale.
Sorry, quick thing first. Diggs is going to see what you draw.
Oh, sorry, Diggs. I'm drawing a commission. This is a commission for Renton of Leith. It's going to be a poster. I'm just doing the artwork for it now, and then I'm going to do all the graphic design stuff later. So.
And what's the character's name again?
It is Leith Skarma. This is for Renton, so yeah, it's her space station character.
And that's a prison behind it, yes?
It's a factory, actually.
Ah.
You just prison, got the walls factory, same thing.
It happens.
Forced unpaid labor by a bunch of people held there against their will.
Yeah. Get real gulag
with it. This stream brought to you by happiness.
Injected into your vein!
I think you're just describing... Never mind.
Yeah. Now I would say, like, a big part of the going through this weird, like, 70-point essay thing, and this is, again, a shitpost and kind of mostly for my own amusement.
Look, if you start bringing the Zapruder film into this, I'm just going to say...
No.
I'm going to be a little upset.
Where I will say the major difference in the two stories is that, whereas the equivalent of Cortana in FF7, Aerith, starts out a fully developed character, and it is Cloud that undergoes the character development, it's the reverse in Halo, where Chief is pretty much always who Chief is going to be from the beginning, and it's Cortana that has character development.
Yeah, if we're going off of the 343 stuff, or off the Bungie stuff, definitely the 343 stuff gets, I don't want to get into it just because.
Not as familiar with the 343 stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that I tend to have issues with when it comes to media, and this is just more just from my own sort of point of view, just doing story writing and world building and stuff. But it's like there's times where when it comes to just kind of taking on a franchise or something, where they will just kind of get away from the thing that actually makes it enjoyable for me. I mean, Star Wars is kind of the big example, and I don't really feel the need to get into that. But and this was something I was actually kind of saying the other day, but you know, with the Fallout TV show, I'll admit I've not seen it, so I could be pleasantly surprised by watching it. It's just more of a matter of like, I'm not a big TV guy, but just stuff I see them doing in that just really bothers me, because I've got my own sorts of views on what like the Fallout setting is like, about how it's less about, you know, it's less about the character you play as and more just them being a window into a certain point in history. Because my thought with Fallout is like the Fallout part isn't necessarily about the bombs. It's like, how does mankind carry on after something like the Great War? And you really see that, especially in like New Vegas, and you see the sorts of the different perspectives these different factions take on based on their own sorts of beliefs and experiences, as to how the world should be. And you know, there's a lot of thought put into a lot of that stuff, and unfortunately, it just doesn't really tend to show up in games outside of like New Vegas or the older Fallout games. And I think that's kind of, to me, that's disappointing, just because I like that kind of stuff. You know,
I think the thing that there's a piece of art in Fallout 3, and I call it art. It's set design, it's location design, but that really is just the best way to describe Fallout. Is there's a moment where you kind of see you're going down a streetway and you come to an intersection where you see destroyed buildings ahead of you kind of opened up, and you see the ruin that is Washington D.C. And the only object with any color, because everything is brown and gray and so forth, is a single red stop sign practically in the middle, and it just says stop.
Interesting.
And it's like,
I don't.
That may just be purely coincidental, but that felt like art to me. I wrote a song about it.
I would not be surprised if that was not coincidental. I would, if somebody just put that in there. Not to say that's not it's a bad thing. I love that somebody decided to put that in there, because you're right, that does sound like an art piece. But yeah, it's stuff like that. You know, just really sort of examining, you know, us as a species and where we're going. I think that's just
Fallout. Yeah, I think of Fallout as largely a love letter to a lot of things that did do that, because there's a lot of homages in it to like.
Oh yeah, like Canical Fleeberwitz is a big one. Wasteland is another.
A Boy and His Dog, Mad Max, obviously, 1984, and Softly Come the Rains is a big one, which is what like the Mr. Handys are based on.
I could totally see that. Yeah, that's the fun thing.
Storm, you see art in everything.
Well,
hey, man,
yeah, I'm kind of trained to do
artists,
that. I mean, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, me as well. But also, art is kind of the human experience, so it's kind of everywhere.
Art is Sorry, you were saying something, Andy?
I was going to say, I'll give you a human experience. Oh.
But Andy, there are people watching.
Oh.
This ain't OnlyFans.
But no, art is the means by which we communicate that which we don't really entirely have words for.
Yeah.
We use words in art, but they are only the context.
Yeah, art is really the part. The big part of art is the human element to it, I want to say, you know.
More human than human.
More human than human.
Now, I have a belief, and this is... I'm not going to call it a fringe belief, but I'm not going to call it, like, a common belief either. But, like, I actually hold that there are a lot of people in history whose art was probably a form of, like, mild or minor prophecy. Because artists tap into a part of themselves that they don't understand. they never really master or control it. It just
Yeah. Well, that kind of. Yeah.
yeah.
I
It
saw
kind
a
of
short.
gets- Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, my thought I was going to say that kind of like gets into the idea of the collective unconscious, you know, which is something that I sort of subscribe to. Just the idea that we as a species are just sort of interconnected in a way that is extremely subtle.
It's a
Yeah, I
live
think it's-
stream, brother.
Yeah.
I saw a short clip that was like I think it was Da Vinci. I don't know if it's Da Vinci or Michelangelo, but they had like these like silver pens and this specific kind of paper that had like some sort of covering on it. But basically you couldn't erase it. So you had to, whatever you drew, that was there forever. But also when it dried, it like eventually, when it aged, it would get like a red color, kind of like almost like a rusty color.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but that's a good way of putting it. And yeah, that's kind of what I was dancing around saying there. SRW was just that's why AI will never be able to really do true art. It can certainly do an imitation of it, but that really, unless you get true AI that actually has the sorts of intelligence and empathy of a human being, but it really is a case of I don't think that's the AI art entire. It's essentially just defeats the entire purpose of art in a lot of respects, you know. And I mean that's what I personally believe, and part of that being just because of what I do and everything. But you know, you just kind of get a sense of that when you look at a lot of it. At least I think so.
Well, and I'm actually going to push back against that only slightly. I would say 90% of the time I agree with you. There is a 10% of the time where I say, oh, I could see some soul in AI art, but I'm also somebody that believes that demons can influence things like that.
Yeah, well, you know, I also think of the phrase "a broken clock is right twice a day." But
Yeah.
I will say that, from what I understand, there are people that use it as a way to sort of enhance their work, or just like streamline stuff, which I would say that's probably the most I would want to use it. Not that I want to use it, but if I was going to,
Yeah.
you know, I definitely think that people should just kind of learn how to do stuff themselves. But you know,
Yeah. Like there is a way in which I am going to be using AI in the work that I'm working on. And it's because I kind of came to a conclusion of, like, it is exceedingly difficult to find voice actors that can pull the sound like a child thing and actually sound good, especially if you want them to sing as well.
yeah,
So there are AIs you can train that will take an existing voice actor, an existing bit of whatever they've sung, and it will alter it until it sounds like them as a child, or them as a woman, or them as a man. Like, there's still going to be a human voice actor there, but the reason I am choosing to do that is because I will not put children in the story I'm writing. Like, that
is honestly totally fair.
That shit is too inappropriate for children. Like, it's an important story. I think I think what I'm writing is something I think needs to be said, but no way I'm
agree.
involving a 12-year-old.
I agree. And honestly, for like, audio is a lot different than like a visual medium when it comes to things like that. So I definitely see a lot more leeway when it comes to audio. Especially for instances like that, where it's like it would not necessarily be the most appropriate to have a child do something for said medium, but you know, I'd say it really depends on the use and the medium in terms of wanting to actually use that stuff. But that's just me. I'll admit I have a very strong opinion when it comes to a lot of this stuff, but it comes from a place of just like I've said it time and again. This stuff means a lot to me, and you know, just it's something that I'm very passionate about, for lack of a better way of putting it. So.
You passionate? Nah.
No, not me. No way.
I will show you the passion of 1,000 dying stars.
Oh, it's so hot. Man, I kind of want coffee, but if I drink it now, I'm definitely not going to sleep later. Yeah, as a tool, that's different. You know, from what I understand, there's artists that have started to use AI as a tool to do interesting things with it. I just haven't really looked into a lot of it.
I mean, Crispy.
Yes.
You want to go? You want to go back in time and give a Neanderthal a triple espresso
Why would we do that?
so we could laugh?
That's how we come back, and that's how they got the Epic of Gilgamesh, because he was just ripped on espresso for 500 years.
Instead of an obelisk, it's like a coffee machine from a gas station.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've legitimately had the thought of like how much ancient mythology just came from people tripping balls because they just like ate something that was bad or something.
I mean, some of it, but I would actually argue. Well, okay, so let's step outside of my spiritual beliefs for a moment. And
are we getting in Ancient Aliens territory?
Well, no. Let's. I think it's actually what you talk about with the collective subconscious, that at some point what's the word I'm looking for? At some point, we take the same story over and over again and tell it, and we start to purify it down to some deep, fundamental core aspect. And
yeah, I mean, that gets into the whole idea of the hero with 1,000 faces, this sort of hero's journey.
And since there are things that can't be communicated with rational words, we communicate them with, dragons and fairies and shit.
Alright. Bully Snake says it would unalive the Neanderthal. I want to see it I want to see its eyes dilate and it just start going at Mach 5 around just doing Neanderthal things or just losing its shit.
The original Flash.
I mean, I guess the best same thing you can do is give a chimp triple espresso, but that's actually dangerous.
No, that would end horribly.
It'll be the beginning of what's the movie?
Nope.
Don't Look Up or
yeah, Nope. It's the one with UFO.
Yeah, Nope.
Yeah, that chimpanzee scene is literally what I was just thinking of, and it's like that is the reason why if I was ever alone with a chimp, I would want a gun because I'm terrified of what a chimp can do to people.
Oh, it's like if you had to choose between being in a room alone with an adult chimp or adult gorilla silverback, which would you choose? And I'm pretty sure most people would choose the gorilla.
I think the gorilla honestly would just probably be more curious and chill. Because gorillas aren't nearly as aggressive as chimps,
which is kind of funny because in the movie, The Planet of the Apes, the old movie, they had it where the chimps were the diplomats and the scientists. Well, the chimps were the scientists, the orangutans were the diplomats, and the gorillas were the militant ones because they're violent and they're strong. It's
I don't think they really had monkey psychology back then, so
yeah. That's true.
That's probably why.
It's not just that. It's that Planet of the Apes was not necessarily being written by a scientifically educated person.
What?
No. Stormsong, how could you say that?
I can't believe it.
Yes, I would say something so brave and yet so controversial.
Santa Claus isn't real, the Easter Bunny isn't real, and neither is the Queen of England.
I mean, based.
Not going to say the comment I just had in my head because it would definitely not be good. Anyway. Thank you, Vector, again. Yeah. I gotta say, I've sometimes surprise myself how I can do certain things with this kind of stuff, just free eyeball perspective. I surprise
myself how great I am. Oh, look at my arm.
I mean, I wasn't trying to brag about it. It's just more of just you do this stuff enough, and then you just find yourself doing things how the fuck did I do that?
Oh, my art is so beautiful. Delicious.
I know what you're referencing.
Crispy, I'm sending you a picture here that I just finished up. I still have to color it, but...
Color it. You harlot? Alright. Hold on. Oh my.
No.
Hold on. I'll share this on the stream. Oh.
Oh, Tom Bombadil. Oh.
Oh.
Tom
I need a big
Bombadil.
pizza. Oh, Tom. You're a treasure in our hearts. Oh, right back.
I would say sign my butt, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah, about that. Ugh. That's probably the only picture I can do today because that's a double. Problem is, I've begun physical therapy for carpal tunnel. And so I can only draw a certain amount per day.
Could you imagine, like, having a robotic hand and, like, you have to regularly, like, take your robotic hand apart and, like, clean it and then put it back together? Like, could you imagine that? Like,
Actually, that's a chapter in one of the stories I'm writing in my setting.
that sounds horrifying in my opinion. Like, imagine, like, I would almost say it's like 5 times more advanced than doing your hand a gun or something like that. You just have to take your little pieces apart.
What are we doing?
Well, okay, so hand specifically was not what I was thinking, but like there's a scene where the character has to detach cybernetic limbs and then has to hobble his way into the shower and go through the process of cleaning himself, and like this is the kind of guy who's too prideful to ask anyone for help.
I thought you were talking about Men Behind the Sun again when you said
No,
detaching
100%.
hands, but yeah.
Actually, that's kind of an episode on Big O. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Weird.
Well,
That's the
there's
second time I've heard Brigo brought up today.
Oh,
Well-
it does seem to be.
there's a scientist that makes a robot that has, like, it has hands that are articulate enough to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't know, some Professor Wally shit happens or something like, I don't know, but that's right, Big O mentioned. Big O was
Yeah.
a weird show. It was like
It's like a
Batman, giant robots, and maybe a little bit of Evangelion mixed in.
I was just gonna say, it was like if Batman had a Megazord. That was kind of the vibe I got out of Big O as a kid.
It's
but yeah,
post-apocalyptic because, like, those robots were everywhere, like, just destroying everything.
Well, yeah, not to get into spoilers, but yeah, it gets really interesting later on.
I think they mentioned that in, like, the beginning. Like, they show
Yeah.
all the robots stomping around, like, lasering.
Oh no,
everything.
no, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to something later on that gets revealed about the series, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, no, that the whole thing about the robots being around, yeah,
The ending kind of like, what?
yeah, that's yeah. It's got a very weird ending.
Oh, Mr. Negotiator.
Evangelion is what happens when your author needs therapy and hasn't gotten it yet.
That is so true.
Evangelion remake is what happens when that author has finally gotten therapy.
No wonder it has a much happier ending.
I don't know. Unfortunately, he was beaten to it by Razafon, which some people say is a blatant copy of
So,
it. I would
if
say that
that's
I would say that Razafon was an answer to it. I think the author was saying like kind of an answer to Evangelion.
so here's a question. If Evangelion is the author needing therapy, what the fuck does that make Berserk?
Berserk is an exploration of Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah, I can see that.
The idea of men who try to make their own morality, and there are two types. There's Guts, who will suffer but ultimately be principled and remain true to who he is, no matter how much suffering that brings him. And Griffith, who, in eschewing traditional morality, has come to devalue people and is thus kind of the wrong kind of Ubermensch, the wrong kind of self-made morals.
Doesn't help that people tend to like massively misinterpret Nietzsche in a lot of respects.
Yes,
But that's probably true of any philosopher.
Yeah, because Nietzsche's whole point was, if you believe that nothing matters, if you believe in nihilism, then you have to create something in lieu of God to help yourself, because God's about the only thing that's kept us alive up until now.
Yeah.
And that's what his phrase means. Like, he did not believe in God, but he believed that our belief in God was an evolutionary device to help us cope with existence and instruct men to be good.
I can see that.
And basically the phrase, God is dead, we have killed him, and there's not enough water in the world to wash the blood off our hands, was essentially him saying, we outgrew God at precisely the moment we would need him, and wouldn't you know it, what replaces God over the next century? Nazism, communism, the Khmer Rouge, the Soviet Union.
A lot of awful shit.
And Nietzsche, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically said, people will die, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and if we learn a damn lesson from it, it might be worth it.
Yeah. Man, that gets into some interesting occult angles on things. Just the idea of some of the stuff that Crowley talked about with the Aeon of Horus and things, about how the Aeon of Horus would be a very chaotic and turbulent century. And he was kind of right about that in a lot of respects. Though I'm not to take, I'd take Crowley with a massive grain of salt in a lot of respects, because he was kind of full of himself. This is the guy that said he claimed responsibility for World War One. Is essentially what I'm trying to get at, because of a magical
Crowley
ritual. He was something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's kind of the reason rock and roll became as big as it was, but he also was not a good dude.
Oh yeah.
In many respects.
The way he treated his students,
the way that he treated his children, that most of them died.
Yeah, the way he treated his spouse.
Which one?
I didn't know she was his spouse. The woman he was with.
Are you talking about the alcoholic one or the different one?
Yeah. Well, several women.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Bully Snake says Berserk is when the author needs therapy and the therapist makes him worse.
You know what? I can see that. I can totally see that.
But no, like you can learn a lot about an author by what they write.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like he goes in for therapy and his therapist is Sigmund Freud.
Mm-hmm. It's like how you can take all art and once you reduce its speculative components, let's say, the science fiction or the fantasy draping you put over it, you will find a fundamental story at the core. So, for example, one of my favorite animes, My Hero Academia, is about a disabled kid that wants to be a cop.
Huh.
And I mean, that's literally what the story is.
I can see that.
But it's done in the context of superheroes, because superheroes sell and stuff. But the story also then becomes there's a lesson that's actually outright said in the first episode by the teacher. He's like, the unfair truth is not all men are created equal. And what he's telling Midoriya is, it doesn't matter that you want to be a cop. You are a disabled kid. You're going to have to work harder than everyone else. It's not fair, but it's true. And so then Midoriya's like, you're right, and I am going to work harder than everyone else. And then goes and does it.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said there, Maybe this is just me just getting too overthinking in my head, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of people that do value fiction in a lot of respects. Because, they're like, oh, what's the value of, made-up stories? And it's like, there's a lot in that, and that's a very good example of it. It's like, it's a very much a way to explore something very human. Not...
Yeah.
I don't want to get, too in
story and the lies I don't want to tell us every day.
I don't want to get too in the weeds on this point. I just want to more use it as a personal example. But are you familiar with the comic Kill 6 Billion Demons?
Yes.
The story of White Chain in that is probably one of the best examples I've ever seen of explaining what it's like to be someone that's transgender. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Just because, honestly, if that's something you're interested in, that's a comic to go read. I don't want to spoil anything for it, but like fictional stories are so good at portraying things like that, just an outside perspective that you don't necessarily even realize.
Yeah.
And that's like, just all sorts of concepts can be explored through fiction.
Yeah, and like another example is, I had to do a lot of therapy when I was younger because I was frankly a very angry child, and what it comes down to is obsessive compulsive disorder has a way of making you relive the same event over and over again.
Oh boy, does it!
And I had that mentality as a middle schooler of, well, I'd rather be angry than sad because at least if I'm angry, I'm not the victim. Which is not a correct way to think, by the way. Like that.
No.
It took me years to fix that. And one of the things that honestly helped was Star Trek Next Generation, where I was able to look at Captain Picard, this sort of fundamental, like, gentleman soldier, this philosopher, and explore and know that his entire story is dealing with anger, dealing with rage, dealing with hurt.
Yeah.
And being a kind of an impulsive and impetuous person when he was young.
Interesting. I don't really know too much about, like, Captain Picard's backstory, but...
Mm-hmm. Let's just say the character we see is very much him as a man grown.
Gotcha.
A younger Picard is a lot more violent, a lot more prone to getting into fights.
Yeah. I mean, I know they kind of go into that in Star Trek Nemesis. Not to spoil that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, First Contact especially, yeah. That one I did see, and that is great. At least I think it is. I know some people have issues with that movie, but yeah. This is just kind of my own personal take, but you can be critical of something but still enjoy the thing.
Well, there's also... The problem with a lot of the Star Trek movies is they're dependent upon each other.
Yeah.
And so you can't just, like... You can watch First Contact without having watched Next Generation, and it will work. You can't watch Star Trek Nemesis without watching Star Trek Next Generation and really get it.
Gotcha.
It's not going to be good.
No, I mean, that I can agree with.
If you have watched Star Trek Next Generation, then it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It's like,
there's
more homework.
Yeah, there's a scene, for example, that just, like, would straight up go over the audience's head if they'd never watched if they've never watched Next Generation, where when Picard is younger, he gets an injury where his heart gets impaled, and it's basically a point throughout the show that Picard has an artificial heart because of this. And so and then we also know that Picard laments the fact that he has no children. And now that his brother and his nephew are dead, there will be no more Picards. And so when he's fighting this clone of himself, who he's kind of trying to save, but knows is, like, really pushing himself beyond the point of redemption, that Shinzon, in his anger, ends up impaled through the heart on a spike in front of Picard. And that scene has no meaning unless you know those things about Picard.
Oh, wow.
And the way Picard looks, like, horrified, like he's just watched the entire story loop itself.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, no, I mean, and that I totally get. I guess I've got a little bit of issue with that, mostly because of, like, how Marvel has done shit, where it's like they've got 20 movies that you need to watch to understand some shit.
Oh, yeah. And that's the unfortunate reality of doing things in franchise. Like, Star Trek was never... The worst you have to do to watch and understand Star Trek is watch, like, all 6 of the original movies together.
Yeah.
Because they're dependent on each other, except for the first one, obviously. But that's 6 movies in a row, as opposed to... What is Marvel up to now?
Oh, there's got to be over, like, 24 at this point, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Madoka Magica. Madoka Magica is Apocalypse Now, Sailor Moon edition. That's my take on that fucking show. I had a friend show me that in college, and I was just like, oh, man.
I don't know why, but when it comes to anime, like scenes of excessive violence and gore disturb me more than like watching it in like live action or something like that.
I mean, you definitely get more graphic in the
I
details
guess
with
it's
it.
like, it's supposed to be cartoon, ha ha ho ho, kitty kitty.
Well, that, but also your imagination is more horrifying than your eyes.
Oh boy, is that true. Yeah, the connections your brain can make to stuff can really make a big difference. You know?
There's a really great line in the show, Severance, if you ever get to watch it, where the guy is boss, she's a very threatening kind of monstrous woman, and at one point she says to him, "My mother was an atheist, and she told me that there is good news and bad news about hell. The good news about hell is it's probably just the byproduct of a morbid human imagination. The bad news about hell is that we humans can generally make anything we imagine real. Now get back to work."
Hey man, to quote, fucking Iron Maiden, hell ain't a bad place. Hell's from here to eternity.
I don't know why I
Love me
imagined
some
Mario
Maiden.
being done by Iron Maiden, but here we are.
I want to see that T-shirt of him as the what's the name of the skull guy?
Eddie.
Yeah,
It's me,
him as-
Eddie.
There's a fun idea for a Super Mario parody game where it's just you're playing as Eddie from Iron Maiden, and the background is just all Iron Maiden music.
Oh God!
Holy
I had a
shit! There's
thought.
37 MCU movies.
I had a
Oh
thought.
wow!
And that's not even counting the TV shows.
Listen.
I bet they're real proud of Madame Web. Sorry, continue.
What are you saying, Andy?
All right. So, I want this to happen in the next Mario movie. They're like at the end, they're like, "Oh man, we really need help," and all of a sudden the door opens up and you see the silhouettes. And it's the silhouettes of the live-action Super Mario Brothers, and they're like,
Oh,
"Oh, we're here to help," and then it goes to credits.
that's
Okay.
a movie. Actually, that's a movie I kind of wish we would have watched at the meetup too, because I haven't seen the Super Mario Brothers live action movie, and I don't even know
we're
how
gonna have a
long.
movie. We're gonna have a movie night, Chris, because I have that on.
Oh
DVD.
fuck yeah!
Dun, dun, dun,
Fuck
dun,
yeah,
dun.
dude! I'm
On
here
that
for
note,
it.
where I thought you were going with this, Andy, you went with the shitpost. I thought you were being serious for a moment, and I thought you were going to say you see an outline, and you see, a wooden doll and a star floating over it.
See, I had an entirely different thought than the both of you. I just thought it was
Yeah.
going to be ending of Apocalypse Now, and Bowser's just laying there going, "The horror, the
Is that
horror."
Xeno?
Sorry, what'd you say, Andy?
Was that Xeno?
Gino.
Gino.
Yeah. Hey, Zykes. Krispy is drawing stuff for Renton.
Yes, this is a commission for Renton of her Space Station 13 character, Leah Skarma. It's a Victorian-style poster I'm working on.
So there's a British prime minister or member of parliament right now. Whose position eludes me, but their name is Keir Starmer. And so I keep thinking that's who you're drawing, and I'm like, that's not right.
I would be interested. I mean, knowing Renton, I don't think that's where the inspiration comes from. But considering that you've
Most
got
assuredly.
characters, yeah. Well, I also think of like how Grazgul, from 40K is basically Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, it was a spoof on Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah. Yeah, the boogeyman of the 80s when it came to a lot of the British, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Baraka Gazgul is so much cooler than that now. So don't leave him alone, man. Like,
I don't think
look,
he's got
he's in
the-
despair. He's in despair right now because
Yard is dead.
yeah, Yorick. Angron killed Yorick, and like, you don't kill an orc's
Oh, no.
enemy.
No, there's no way that he's actually
Oh.
dead.
Oh no, it just hit me. If he takes Yark's skull back from Angron, he's probably gonna have "Alas, poor Yarick, I hardly knew ye" as a line.
Oh my fucking god!
That would be so old 40k too.
If they are building up to that, I'm gonna be kind of. I'm not even like big into 40k lore. I'm just like,
I
god
would
damn
do
it.
the meme where what Shia LaBeouf stands up clapping.
Well, and there's that the old like Warhammer lore stuff. Like there's a combat drug called Slot, because when you're on it, you're on slot.
Oh my god!
Yep, you get it. So I mean that was.
See, I love that kind of shit though. It's like,
Yeah.
I love the over the top cheesiness.
Well, Warhammer 40k is fundamentally British, which means it's Wait, I'm getting a phone call from a customer. I'll be right back.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a lot of it's based off of the kinds of stuff that you had back in like heavy metal in like 2000 AD. Actually, I want to say more 2000 AD. I don't think heavy metal is UK based. I could be wrong about that though. I don't really know my old zines very well.
Okay, here I am. It's a mix of both British humor and the sort of stiff upper lip, king and country kind of thinking.
Yeah.
It's the hybrid of the two.
Yeah, I was saying how a lot of it was inspired by stuff like that you would see in like 2000 AD and such, like Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper and such.
Oh yeah.
But I have you watched the Project Morningstar stuff at all? I think it's the guy that did the Astartes animations. I'm not sure.
I've not seen it, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like. It's very much 40k inspired as a setting, but it's very. For some reason, I just really like the animations and stuff, and it's basically like a hyper-capitalist society where Earth is ruled by the megacorps and everything is in the name of profit, and it's. Yeah, I've been enjoying the animations at least. I actually kind of like the look of the Barakan. They're essentially Space Marines, but I think their armor looks better than the Space Marines personally.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think a lot of people forget is that the Space Marines for 40k, the armor was designed with minis in mind, so you had to have something that was easily castable and such. So the limitations of the design therein lay, whereas, I think probably my favorite power armor in anything that I've seen is the Mjolnir armor.
I'd have to think about that, because I've got... I don't have a solid single answer for that, because I've got stuff I like about all... But, I might have said this before, power armor is my autism fixation with a lot of sci-fi tropes. Or just power armor or mechs and things is, my big thing. And I'm very much a picadillo when it comes...
We've all watched Space Kings, so you don't need to worry.
I'll say this, if you've watched the first Iron Man... Both Iron Man's suit and Ironmonger are both power armor. It's just one is a lot bigger than the other.
Honestly, the Iron Man movie is kind of what really turned me on to power armor as a concept. I knew about it beforehand, but I never really clicked for me until that. I'm personally more on the fan of the bulkier stuff in terms of power armor. That's one of the things. I've got a lot of issues when it comes to Fallout 4. I'm sure most people do. But the one thing I could say positive about that is I think that they really nailed the look and feel of what the power armor would be like.
Yeah, the T45s
where
and T60s.
Yeah, where it's not necessarily something you just simply wear, which was always kind of a thing that kind of turned me off to Fallout 3 and New Vegas, because it just felt like special pants you put on. But it's you make it actually feels significant, like something that you operate. Yeah,
when you play Fallout 1 and 2, you gain a full 1.5 foot of height when you put power on.
Exactly.
You are a tank.
Yeah, and it really fits too, because the power armor in the setting is very significant. It essentially turned the tide of this Shino-American war. I also... Oh, go ahead, Andy.
I do like how... I do like how... And the one thing that really sells me on big, heavy, thick power armor is the footfall sound. In Space 1 and 2, you get the feeling of oh yeah, this guy's wearing a ton of armor.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that when they did it in it's a good representation in RoboCop too, because when he walks around, he's like toom 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 toom.
I mean, that's more cybernetics, but yeah, I get your
Yeah,
point.
but still, he's like a heavy motherfucker, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's very mechanical sounding, which I like.
It's the rule of Stompy Boy. We
Yeah.
are all about them Stompy Boy.
I think another example of power armor that does it really nicely is the Terra Marine armor from StarCraft 2.
Stompy.
You know,
Um,
I love the look of that stuff. But
Yeah, it's a bit too ridiculous for proper sci-fi, but I will always cite as my second favorite suit of power armor, because it was also my introduction to power armor, is Samus from Metroid.
oh, Samus looks cool, and I will say that I for as much as I love the bulky stuff, I do love Mjolnir armor because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Mjolnir's
the
always
thin
got
power armor is nice, like Iron Man armor or Mjolnir. Like I call
yeah.
that the thinner armor.
It's nice to have both, which is honestly why I really like a lot of the BattleTech battle armor designs, is because you do have the thinner, like, more human suits, but then you've got the bulkier stuff.
Yeah.
Where they start to lose me is things like the horse armor and things, but those are just goofy in general.
Yeah.
But I think BattleTech really, in a lot of ways, nails the look of what I like most in power armor with a lot of the designs.
Yeah.
You know, like the Purifier adaptive suits that are the Word of Blake made look really good. And also, if you're a fan of Mech Assault 2 like I am, you'll be happy to know that the battle armor from that is canon in the Dragoon. And they really get a good look with that. But anyway, not to go too much into a tangent about power armor.
Oh, by the
'Cause I
way,
could.
Andy.
Yeah.
So the other day during this stream, I was telling Krispy about the relatively new Sonic TV show, Sonic Prime, which I
Oh
don't
my
watch.
god.
And,
Oh yeah, I saw toys of that at the store the other day.
yeah, and you know, it's pretty decent. It's pretty okay. I mean, it's Sonic, so it's not going to be like high art or anything, but they actually did a pretty good job on it.
I mean, it might be high, but in a different sense.
Yeah, but then I showed Crispy a picture of the Dark Universe Tales, because it does the whole, like, oh, here's the Dark timeline, right? Where there was no Sonic, so everyone's all, like, 1984 and Blade Runner. And that version of Tales is called 9. And Crispy's immediate reaction is, Jesus, why is he dressed like Trent Reznor? And it hit me the other day, and I sent it to him, which was, you said he looks like Trent Reznor, so does that make him 9 Inch Tails?
Yes, and then cut to me. I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. I just look at my phone. I see I've got a Discord message from Storm. I open it, and that's what I read the first thing getting up in the morning. I'm just like, God damn it. It makes so much fucking sense. I hate that you're correct, but it also, I see it.
Lol.
It's the edgiest fucking shit, too. So it's just like, if you
Oh,
put
God.
head like a hole over top of that picture, it just, it
Hey
fits too well.
Sonic, I hurt myself today.
Oh my god, if he actually would reference 9 Inch Nails lines in the fucking show. Every day is exactly the same, Sonic!
You know, the funny thing is I was wondering about Tails, because he's got 2 tails, and then I learned about the Kitsune. I'm like, wait, is Tails like
Yes.
a young Kitsune or something?
I think he's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
that's what
Also,
they're
I just think of the one parody comic they did where it was arms instead of tails, and he just twisted his arms back and forth and was just screaming the entire time while he's flying.
Well,
I need to find... Go ahead.
and they are referencing that, Andy, and they, in the aforementioned Sonic Prime, they reference it further by him giving himself 7 additional mechanical tails.
Well, yeah, I saw that. I saw some pictures of it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Fucking Tails Reznor over there.
I think one of the funnier characters that shows up, because it's all their like different alternate universe selves, is the Dread Pirate Knuckles.
What?
Because it's exactly as dumb as it sounds.
Yeah, it's... Oh, God. I can only imagine what that looks like. I'm gonna look it up later and just send you a message like, I am disappointed.
Yep.
I am disappointed!
Oh, actually, you know, I just remembered something. Hold on. I never did get to show this, but
Show it.
I did finish at least the Tex Eggman from last week.
Oh yeah!
Yeah,
What?
I want to turn it into a sticker.
Okay.
But yeah, that surprisingly turned out better than I was expecting it to. But I love when that happens.
You know, don't finish this or make this go any further than making a Eggman-inspired text theme Storm Song. Nah.
Look, I know enough about the Sonic fandom to know that that's a bad idea to go further than just that.
No, we will go no further. Down that path.
I've seen some things. You people.
Damn it! You didn't fall for my reverse psychology. I've been defeated.
Andy, if you've seen certain parts of the internet like we have, you probably would know why that would be a bad idea. Just say there's some very interesting artistic takes on the Sonic cast.
Remember Ugly Sonic?
Oh, the one from the live action that everyone got upset about and then they replaced?
Yes.
Yes, I love that version of Sonic.
He appears in the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh, that's right! He does show up in that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he shows up in a movie that, like, pissed off a lot of Chip and Dale fans because Zipper and Gadget get together. And they have, like, a dozen half-fly, half-mouse babies.
What?
Yes.
I hate that. It's like a really fucked up version of John Carpenter's The Fly.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, more fucked up. I mean, it was.
Have you seen the second movie of that, Krispy?
No, but I've got a visual in my head that I really don't want to repeat on stream. Let's just say I've got some horrible thoughts as to fiction that could be written about that.
Also, 23-minute mark, Krispy.
Oh, that's fine. I am keeping an eye on time, so I figured I
it.
wasn't going to really finish this today. It was just more like, hey, I want to do line art and figured people might want to watch, so.
They say that with great art, there must be great suffering. So, Krispy, I'm going to make you the greatest artist of them all. Now, hold still.
Something about that just reminded me of something that a customer of mine said once. He said, I'm hiring this backup singer, and she is good. She is amazing. And he looks around the room. We probably want to give her a little more room. And I'm like, why? Does she, like, dance while singing? He's like, you know the phrase when the fat lady sings?
Oh.
Yeah, this is her. She's the fat lady.
Oh.
And her name was Adele, no.
Yeah, no, and true to the word. She comes in, and I'm like, okay, she's not, like, ugly fat, but she's definitely heavy.
Hey, man, you got to deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah, but then she belts like a motherfucking cannon. Like, this woman is opera itself.
I mean,
Good.
I will say, ever since I heard about the whole thing Polish said about, like, the tax of being creative, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of stuck with me a little bit, you know. I don't think I agree with what David Lynch said on it, where he said you don't have to suffer to be an artist. But I do think there's something to be said about, like, when it comes to, like, putting those sorts of energies of creativity and just the energy of creating into your work. I do think there is a bit of give and take with that. I mean, I guess the best way to put it is it's like equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
You know. Because I know that there's definitely times where I can just wear myself out just putting all my effort into something like I'm working on, but that's also probably the human element to it too. But, you know, it's just one of those things that's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
I have very deep thoughts. Like, I think a lot. Because, you know, it's like I have OCD or something.
Sometimes my brain tells me things that I'm not quite enlightening.
Sometimes I dream about cheese.
I hurt myself.
I hurt myself today to see
If
if I still yuck.
If steel is tempered iron, then is cheese tempered milk? Makes you think, doesn't it?
Now that is a deep question there.
After what you said about milk on my stream 2 days ago, I'm a little worried to continue down this.
Oh,
subject.
is this where I get to bring up that cereal as breakfast soup?
Well, just Andy reminded us that, if we don't milk him, Rail's breasts get swollen.
Why? Why must you say such horrible things?
Trying to set him off.
And I'm just sitting here, waiting for, the big, climactic, dialogue between Vigarath and Ramza. And then Andy just whips that one out.
Yeah, that's Andy. He flashbangs you with something, and then you're just like, what? And now I'm just thinking of that ending scene to Dodgeball, where it's Ben Stiller as the fat guy massaging his titties to "My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard," and then I'm just imagining Rail doing that, and I hate everything that I just said.
My favorite gift that Hope would like to think represents me the most is there are these two little baby kittens fighting, and all of a sudden the third baby kitten comes up and he's watching. He just vomits all over the floor. And the other two kittens stop and look at the vomit and at him.
I think the best description of me as a person as a GIF is the one of Ed and Eddie, where Ed is smacking his head against the round, pretending to be a woodpecker. I feel like that captures my essence as a person.
Someone did a review of the episode where Ed is angry, or
that
Big Ed.
episode, yeah.
And he tells it his sister's you can't kick me out of my own house, and Ed actually goes, then move, and she's like, oh he's actually angry. Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah, when his sister's the one getting scared, bad shit's bad.
I think my favorite line from him and his sister, she's like, I'm telling Mom, and he's like, please, Sarah, don't tell Mom. If you tell Mom, Mom will tell Dad, and Dad will be like, not now, I'm busy.
Yeah, he's just like, not now, I just got home from work, and then I'll be grounded. I also oh god.
Stairs because I am grounded.
That's disturbing.
That's a little extreme.
God, I could fucking watch Ed and Eddie all day.
Eddie, we are in purgatory.
I figured out how to describe the Legion.
I would say Ed and Eddie is probably a good bet.
No, the Legion is what happens when you have a group of people who are all individually Double D, but when they're in a room together, they become Ed.
Yeah, that's a good description. Honestly, that I subscribe to that because things got real dumb at the meetup.
I was playing D&D with a friend, and there was 2 other players. And the way our characters were behaving, he says, you guys are like the Ed and Eddie of this group. We had the big dumb fighter. We had the kind of the nice and kind of shy, smart cleric, and then we had the warlock that was always trying to come up with plans and
Just reminded me of our latest Star Wars episode we put out of the Galaxy of Thieves game, where I get real creative with going to the pharmacy.
Concerning.
No, no spoilers. Just go listen to it. I play a very interesting character in that game. There's a reason they keep bringing up the movie Falling Down when I reference Gary.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
I could definitely see Gary pulling on a Mac 10 in a McDonald's.
That's one of those songs where you don't need to try too hard to make it creepy.
Well, it's like the fucking Dead Space trailer where it had Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That shit scared me for weeks afterwards, just thinking about that shit.
So there's an assignment that Texas put forward to Maestro and I, which is that one of the themes from Space Station 13 he wants 2 versions of, so we're each going to make one. And so he hasn't decided yet, but it looks like Maestro's going to do the electric swing jazz version of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do the 2010s to 2020s unnecessarily dark remake of it.
Ah, okay. See, I went in a different route with that as my thought. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, just thinking about, what was that? Well, what you were just talking about, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but also, Age of Ultron with the There Are No Strings on Me.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen
the Far Cry 4 version of Born to Be Wild?
Have you seen the trailer where they actually replace Ultron with Tin Man and some of the characters with other Wizard of Oz
I want
characters?
to now.
I'm looking it up because you said it, and I need to know.
I want
Funny,
to kind of
'cause,
draw
like-
that, honestly.
He says like I have no strings to hold me down. And he goes toot toot.
Also, speaking of Space Station songs, I'd like to hear remixes of. I want to hear a big mariachi version of Tin Tin on the Moon. I'm quite enjoying this music.
We're gonna talk about fun covers. I'm gonna shout out one. Hold on.
Oh, actually, you did just remind me if we're talking about covers. Devo does a cover of Nine Inch Nails' Head Like a Hole. That's pretty fucking great. If you like Devo, go look that up. Or if you want to like Devo, go look that up. Devo's great.
So, if you are a Godzilla fan and you like Shin Godzilla, you know the song or one of the music, "Who Will Know," which is it's not actually like being sung by Godzilla, but it's like a song that's almost from his perspective of like, oh god, I have to keep going. Who knows my pain and all that. But
Yeah, Godzilla just smoking Marlboro Reds.
well, there's this hobby guy who I think collects toys and stuff. His name is Bobby DeHong, and he does an a cappella cover of "Who Will Know," and it's very good. I like it. And he has other he does other music stuff and all that. I would suggest giving his stuff a look.
Nice,
Be
nice.
bothered. Asshole.
Hey, sometimes I like the covers more than the original
Oh, me
songs,
too.
so-
Like, there's a few Muppet covers that I like almost better than the originals. You know, like there's a Muppet one where he sings "If I Could Put Time in a Bottle." You know, it sounds very sad.
The Proto Men cover of In the Internet's pretty solid, as is Mr. Roboto. I mean, it's hard to beat Styx with Mr. Roboto, but actually, the song "Ordinary World" by Duran Duran, I've always loved the cover that the band Red did of that song. Honestly, more than the Duran Duran version. I think it's Duran Duran that sang "The Ordinary World."
SRW Addict says, and then you realize the voice actor for Ed also did Kira Yamato. I
Hiro
never-
Yamato from what is that from?
I don't know.
I believe Gundam.
Shiro Yamato?
Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Because isn't he the one from fucking... Is that the protagonist from Gundam Seed?
I was honestly thinking, is it the
Yeah,
bad
Gundam
guy
Seed.
from
Gundam Seed.
Avatar?
Also, now that you say that, and I just think about his voice, I could fucking hear it. I'll be honest, I'm not really a big fan of Gundam Seed.
Oh no! Please spend the next 20 minutes telling us how you don't like it. Chris.
Wow, Andy, wow.
Oh, sorry, was I a little real there?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't even going to say anything, I just said I don't like Gundam Seed is all. If you want me to, I can go into a fucking diatribe on Gundam Seed
If
and
you
how I
hate
don't like
Gundam
it.
Seed so much, Crispy, why don't you marry it?
I don't want to marry it, it'd be annoying as shit.
Besides, that would be bigamy.
It would be. And you know what? It's big of you and it's big of me.
Yeah, we don't want to. we don't want Storm getting any bigger than he already.
At least I'm not 80% lard by pound like Whacker.
Wow, dude. Just going for the
He
throat
and I
on
were
stream
throwing
today.
shade at each other earlier, and he and I were
Oh,
throwing
well-
shade at each other earlier, and I hit him with that
As
one.
you do. Yeah, no, he keeps trying to... He was trying to get me to listen to some
Fuck
country
it.
music last night.
Crispy, we're gonna make our own Gundam series. It's gonna be called Gundam Bleed.
I actually have an idea for a mech setting I want to talk to you about that you might like.
They're like
But-
giant robots, but they bleed blood.
No, it wouldn't be edgy. It'd be more like the fun kind of giant robot fight than anything.
And then someone comes in and says, actually, there's an anime series where robots actually do bleed vast amounts of blood, and it's like, ah, shit.
I think that's Evangelion.
You know, aren't they technically like cyborgs of some weird? Aren't they like
Yeah, they're
angels that have been
cyborgs of like
captured and
demigods or
inside of
some shit.
So they are human DNA crossed with angel DNA to create the genetic material for a large cybernetic robot. The
Yeah.
emphasis on it's a robot. Now, here's the problem. The genetic material is usually taken from the pilot's mother.
That's
Uh-huh.
why.
Shinji is piloting his mother.
Man, they really beat
Man.
Pornhub to that genre by a long while, didn't they?
You know what? If I knew Shinji was
Stepmother,
my
I'm stuck
son,
in
I'd
the
be pissed
Eva.
off all the time too.
Mhm. And the fact that his father makes him pilot it, think on that.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be winning Father of the Year awards, but I already thought that, considering he's basically in charge of, like, yeah. I don't know much about Evangelion, but NERV doesn't exactly seem like the best organization. I do like that one Critical Miss comic that kind of makes fun of Evangelion, where it's like, "Sup, son, I want you to pilot this giant robot and live with a smoking hot chick." I hate you, Dad!
Yep.
I mean, if we're getting it from that perspective, I would be like, if I was Shinji, I'd be like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. I get to pilot a giant robot.
Yeah, but you got to remember he's Shinji.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at it from the perspective of Megas XLR, because that's, in my head, that's kind of what I feel like it'd be like if I had a giant robot. Not even necessarily because of the metal, like, I definitely would hit the wrong button and then just activate, like, a WMD of some kind. Just knowing my fucking luck.
You remember the episode where like this big bad like devil guy shows up and he says, "Oh, you're a bigger devil than I am," and at the end of it says, "I knew you were evil, but not this evil." Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
it was like a black hole or something.
Definitely sounds like Megas XLR.
You know what actually pissed me off was that his friend, like the emo looking guy, he gets his own mech. But
Oh,
when he
that's
gets
just
back,
the one episode.
yeah, but he like destroys it, and it's like, dude, we could have like more mech action. No, man.
Hey, man. I don't know if
The
I would
ending
have
of that
trusted
series
JB
is
with the mech.
weird. They have like where they have evil Coop.
Oh, by the way, with Crispy,
Yes.
I want you to imagine yourself now. This would require black hair dye,
Yeah.
but Jaden and you as the characters from Megas XLR.
I can see it.
For a
I can
cosplay.
see it. I can totally see it.
For the
I'd also have to
audience's
straighten
context,
my
our friend
hair.
Jaden is- Yeah, for the
And if we
audience's
wanna
context,
save
our
on,
friend Jaden is
makeup-
about- for the audience's context, our friend Jaden's about 6'5", broad
He's a
shoulder,
unit.
blonde hair, so he could be the guy from Megas XLR.
Yeah, he could
It
be
could
Coop.
be,
I could
like-
definitely pull off a Jamie.
And to save on money, if we want to get as authentic as we can get Whacker to play the alien emperor or general.
Who's gonna be the redhead? Is that gonna be Storm?
Yes.
I feel pretty.
Oh, didn't you
so
know?
pretty.
Isn't the redhead like related to what's his name?
No, she has an ancestor in the past that Glorf tried to kill, and that's the fun episode because they go to a punk concert and they've got some really great music in that episode. I have like a good chunk of the Megas XLR soundtrack downloaded because it's just such a fucking awesome soundtrack. But I'm also into punk music, so.
Yes.
Well, what I mean is like she's like related to what's his name, the emo guy.
No,
Like
I
she's
don't-
like his great granddaughter or something like that.
No, she has an ancestor. That there's a whole episode where it's like the aliens are trying to kill her one ancestor. What does happen between her and Jamie in the alternate dimension is they apparently were dating at one point before she turned evil. Spoilers.
Oh, also, 5-minute mark, Crispy.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That's fine. I'm just kind of like adding details and stuff. You know, it's funny. I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing something where it was like, you know, your pen when you're doing the line art, it should be the thing that you're certain on. You're not like adding stuff to. And I could honestly just be misremembering that, but it's like when it comes to digital art, it kind of is a moot point. At any rate, I think I managed to.
You're a mute point.
I mean, I can be mute. Just mute myself for the rest of the stream. No, I'm kidding. I will say that I did kind of get to where I wanted to today, so mission accomplished. I just got little details to touch up here and there. I'm not sure about how I feel about
And
this.
remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to be a better artist, the best thing to do is to practice and not sell your soul to the devil. That never works.
Honestly,
Isn't that Banjo Joe? It's hot down here.
I mean, you're slightly joking, but you have a very good point.
Yeah.
Because
There
I
you go,
definitely
sure.
feel like the best way to get better as an artist is to just do your own thing. You know, find ways to practice responsibly so you'll actually learn something. Don't just draw this. Well, I mean, I just shouldn't even say that because half of my drawing practice is drawing the same shit over and over again until I'm good at it. But basically, you know, if I was going to recommend anything to anyone that wanted to start doing art or drawing like this, I would first of all, I would say just start, like, find what you like and just kind of get inspired by that. You know, use it as reference. Don't be afraid to use reference. Just, honestly, the big thing is, like Andy said, just to practice and just kind of get better at it as you go. You know, you're not going to be amazing at it when you start out, and that's not the point. The point is to just learn and develop your skills as you go. You know, I feel like I've said it before on stream, but you know, where I'm at now versus where I was at like just even 3 years ago is vastly different.
Yeah.
You know,
It's nowhere near as bad now.
wow.
But it's slightly more haunting.
I mean, that's probably because of all the curse things that I've drawn on the stream, but you know.
Oh yeah, I still like your curse Big Bird drawing.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty great. I should definitely do. I kind of want to put that on a T-shirt now that I think about it. It's weird. It kind of reminds me of one of the album covers.
I can't see Snoopy.
For some reason, it reminds me of the one Dinosaur Jr. album cover. But that's just me. But you know, I
Is there
definitely
an album
encourage like.
called Dinosaurs on Parade?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I honestly, I just, and if people are watching the stream and they want to learn how to draw stuff, I definitely encourage you to just start drawing stuff. You know.
Logan wants us to know
however-
that he has eaten nochi, and they were delicious.
Gnocchi. Delicious gnocchi.
Yum.
I thought he said Gucci, and I was like, I didn't know you could eat a Gucci.
Gnocchi is very
Maybe
interesting pasta. Yeah.
I heard something else.
I don't want to know. You can tell me how fair.
Let's just say I didn't hear him say eat Gucci.
Ah.
Oh well.
Reading Goofy.
Don't
Lord
eat
of the
me.
Flies
I'm full
Disney
of high
edition.
black calories.
Cannibal Holocaust Disney
So this is
edition.
readable.
Ah.
Oh God.
I hate that you said that after I mentioned Cannibal Holocaust, considering some of the scenes in that movie.
Furby's
like
on
anyone did
Parade.
get that,
that we
don't.
built in. It's like that one terrible ship we built in Traveler, which was the Admissive Unseatable.
Oh god.
Its entire purpose was to lure other pirates in, and then, like, when they were too close, we would spring with the actually good ship and attack.
Ah. You'll bait and switch. Nice.
Aw, yeah.
God, that just makes me think. It says, we're hunting pirates because they don't have rights.
No, they just have firearms that are very much more effective. Actually, pirates back in the day did have an interesting code of laws and things. There was a podcast I listened to talking about Blackbeard, and surprisingly elaborate the stuff they had. But I digress. At any rate, looks like we're up here at 6:30.
I call Porley.
So, I I'm very pleasant with how far I got in this, and I thank you all for joining in on this stream. You know, it's a little bit different from our usual goofiness, but I hope people enjoyed watching me draw some line art and just the weird conversations we've had along the way. Furby Song
And remember,
Parade!